guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. It's that time of the week again. It's Premier League predictions time. Another round of exciting and intriguing Premier League encounters are almost upon us for this weekend. And of course, this is the video where I give my talk, my analysis, and of course try to give my predictions on how I think each and every single game will turn out this weekend. Before we get into all of that though, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and very greatly appreciated. And of course, I encourage you all to get involved in the comment section down below. Use and abuse that section, people. Talk to me on all of the games that are coming up this weekend in England's top tier division. Give me your thoughts, comments, opinions, feelings, but most of all, of course, your predictions. Because after all, people, where would a Premier League predictions video be, after all, without predictions? Sound good? Great. Now let's get on with things, shall we? And we have got a Friday night game this week. So fantasy football managers, make sure your teams are in order for Friday night's game when we have Leeds United taking on West Ham. Big game this one for both of these teams. West Ham, of course, not exactly had that new manager bounce that they were hoping for when Nuno Espirito Santo took over. Are coming up against a Leeds side who have just slightly gone off the boil a little bit from their decent start to the season. Ellen Road, though, could be a fortress for Leeds. It could be, obviously, their key to maybe Premier League survival this year, but they're obviously going to find it tough. I've gone with a 1-1 draw. I could see either side nicking it, to be honest, and taking the 3 points home with them, but I don't know. Something tells me that this could have all the makings of a 1-1 draw. Moving on, Chelsea taking on Sunderland at Stamford Bridge. I've gone with a 2-1 win to Chelsea. Now, it isn't going to be through lack of trying for Sunderland's defeat in this one, in my opinion, but Chelsea will just have a little bit too much for them in the final third. Look, I can see this being a really tough game for both of these teams. I don't expect it to be all one-way traffic and Chelsea absolutely dominating the Black Cats at all. But I think that with Chelsea being at home, with Chelsea having, you know, the extra firepower in the attack, maybe having the extra quality in midfield, and maybe having a little bit more quality in the defensive third as well, I think that maybe they can overcome Sunderland in this game. Sunderland, you know, for them, it's not out the realms of possibility for them to get something from this game. You know, they have proven to be a difficult side for most teams so far, maybe much more difficult than what a lot of us were imagining come the beginning of the season. So it's not a realms possibility for Sunderland to get something in this game by any stretch of the imagination. But like I said, I just think Chelsea will just have that extra little bit of something in all areas of the pitch that may just see them get across the finish line with all 3 points. But it should be a really good game nonetheless. It should be a very interesting game. And it will be interesting to see if Chelsea can actually keep all 11 players on the pitch this time around. Next up, Newcastle United taking on Fulham at St James's Park, and I've gone with a 2-1 win in favour of the Magpies. Now, Newcastle have one of the most informed strikers right now in the Premier League in Nick Voltemade, who has hit the ground running since joining the Magpies. Hasn't exactly gone all according to plan for Newcastle so far this season, but at home they are certainly tough to beat. They are certainly awkward to face, and I would expect them to be for this game to be not so different from that. Fulham, we know on their day can be we know on their day can be very difficult to play against, but they are better at home than they are away. So I do think that Newcastle can take full advantage of that, and that is why I have gone with Newcastle to win and for Nick Voltemade to continue his decent goal-scoring run. Next up, Saturday's evening game, or one of Saturday's evening games, comes from Old Trafford, where Manchester United, still riding high off of that big victory last weekend against Liverpool, will be taking on Brighton. Now, as I say, Man United picked up a massive win last weekend. The first time ever that Ruben Amorim has picked up back-to-back wins as the Manchester United head coach. Can he make it 3 wins on the bounce? Only time will tell. But they do come up against a Brighton side who haven't exactly had it all their own way this season. But I think they could fancy their chances of getting something from this. Brighton are normally a bit of a bogey side for Man United anyway. And it would be completely Manchester United-like to pick up an unlikely victory against Liverpool, only for them to crumble a week later against with all due respect to Brighton, a lesser opposition. So, Brighton winning this game honestly would not shock me. However, in my prediction, I've called it down the middle. I would expect them to take the confidence and the positives from that Liverpool win and take it forward into their game at Old Trafford this week. Brighton, similarly to Manchester United, haven't had it all their own way, but it's not been through lack of, creating opportunities or things like that. They've created a fair amount of opportunities and a fair amount of chances. It's just about taking them. Last week, Danny Welbeck got a couple of goals. Maybe he will return to haunt his old club. Only time will tell. Like I say, Brighton winning wouldn't surprise me. Man United making it 3 wins on the bounce wouldn't surprise me. But I'm going to call it down the middle. I'm going to say 2-2 come the final whistle. I'm going for Desmond here. And in the other Saturday evening game, the later game of the night, Brentford are taking on Liverpool, who are looking to stop the rot of 3 Premier League defeats on the bounce. Now, they did stop it in all competitions with a big win on Wednesday night when they beat Frankfurt, but the Premier League is obviously where it is at. Brentford will fancy their chances here. There's no doubt about it. They'll throw caution to the wind. They will see this as a big free swing and a big opportunity to maybe kick Liverpool whilst they're down. And again, it's about Liverpool and Arne Slot in particular making the right choices, providing the right combinations, the right tactics, the right substitutions, getting everything right on the day to, of course, make sure that they aren't furtherly humiliated and embarrassed by another defeat in this game. Under the lights, Brentford, we know they can throw a party. We know that they will feed off of the energy of the crowd that they will be getting. So it is going to be tough for Liverpool in that kind of hostile atmosphere. Tough away from home as it is, and obviously tough because Brentford can be awkward on their day. And of course they have, again, a similarly informed striker, similar to Newcastle in Igor Thiago, who is obviously scoring plenty of goals so far this season. But no, Liverpool should be winning this, and hopefully Liverpool will take confidence from that big win against Frankfurt, and they will obviously go forward with it, and hopefully start to redeem themselves from what has been an incredible downfall, an incredible blip, hopefully, on the record of Arne Slot and Liverpool for this season. I'm hoping Liverpool get the job done. I'm hoping Liverpool put in a very, very good performance like they did against Frankfurt. So I am going to back my team to win, and I'm going to go 3-1 to the Reds. Next up, Sunday's games. And first up, we've got a game from Molineux where Wolverhampton Wanderers will take on Burnley, and I've gone with a 1-1 draw here. Wolves still winless this season. Burnley struggling at times to obviously get points where it matters most. I'm calling it down the middle. I'm going to go 1-1. I'm not entirely confident by this. I could see either side winning it. Wolves might actually pick up their first win of the season. Burnley may heap more misery on to Vitor Pereira's side. It genuinely could go any which way. I'm going to call it down the middle though, but I'm going to say that both teams do score as well. Next up, Manchester City travel to the West Midlands to take on Aston Villa in a game that I have predicted Man City to come out on top of in a 2-0 victory. Look, it's hard to back against Man City right now, and especially with the inspired and phenomenal form of Erling Haaland. Even by Haaland's standards, his form is absolutely incredible, to say the least. He doesn't look like he's going to be slowing down anytime soon. He got another couple of goals last weekend. I wouldn't be surprised if he got another couple of goals this weekend as well. I just don't see a world in which Villa get the win here. And I know that Villa have been a bit of a bogey side for Man City in the past, and I know that, you know, Unai Emery can be a bit awkward to play against at times. But like I say, when you've got an inspired and phenomenally red-hot goal-scoring form of a striker in Erling Haaland right now, it is so difficult to back against you. Because, I mean, I play fantasy football. Everybody's probably captaining Haaland week in, week out. It's a bit like it was a couple of years ago. Just Haaland. So, if you're a City fan, you're hoping it's going to be continuing for a long, long time to come. But we shall see. We shall see. Like I say, could be awkward. Could be awkward as far as what City are concerned. But I would expect Haaland City to get the job done. Moving on to a new era again at Nottingham Forest. Sean Dyche takes charge of his first Premier League game as the Nottingham Forest boss away against Bournemouth. Now, what a way it would be for your first Premier League game at your new club to win against a side that Forest notoriously struggle to beat. Bournemouth normally come out on top in this game, and it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if Bournemouth were to do the same in this one. Being at home, their home form has been fantastic so far this season. Being at home, Antoine Semenyo has been nothing short of incredible so far this season. I'm backing Bournemouth to win. I really am. But here's the thing. New manager bounces, new managers entirely can throw a bit of a spanner in the works. And maybe, just maybe, Sean Dyche, the wily old manager, the one with experience of obviously managing Burnley and managing Everton, just to name a couple, maybe, just maybe, this guy could actually get one over on Bournemouth this time around. And what a way to introduce yourself to the Nottingham Forest faithful by doing that. That would be absolutely incredible if Sean Dyche was to do that. The extra 90 minutes in the legs from midweek's game against Porto may play a factor in this game for Forest, obviously with them being in Europa League action and Bournemouth not. That could obviously play a factor. But it will be very interesting to see if that is to happen or not. Overall, though, I'm backing Bournemouth to win. They are the home team, so they've got the little bit of extra incentive there. And like I say, history is on the side of the Cherries. So I'm going for Bournemouth to win. But that isn't to say that the new manager bounce might not play into effect. But 3-1 to the Cherries is my prediction there. Next up, penultimate game I believe on this list is Everton taking on Tottenham at I forgot what it's called, but it's the new stadium of Everton. I forgot what it's called. Something Dickinson or Will Dickens. I can't remember. I can't remember the name of it. It's just vanished off the top of my head. Either way, though, this is a Premier League classic between two teams that often throw us a very, very intriguing game of football. And I've gone with Tottenham to win. I think that they will get the job done. I think that they may have just that little bit extra in the attacking third to get the job done. We know that obviously Everton can be tricky customers. We know that they can be awkward. And we know that obviously the return of Jack Grealish from his absence last week, because obviously he can't play against his parent club, will be a welcome addition back for the Toffees. However, in saying all of that, Spurs, I know they may have the extra 90 minutes of Champions League action in their legs as well from earlier on this week. But I just think the players that they have, the way that Thomas Frank has really galvanised the squad, the way that obviously he's adapted to the players he has already, obviously added a couple of players himself in the form of like Mohamed Kudus, for example, who is looking to be an incredible signing. I just think Tottenham may just have enough about them to get the job done in this one, which is why I'm going for a Tottenham win. But that isn't to say that it isn't out of the realms of possibility for Everton to get something from this game. We know that obviously they can be tricky customers at times. I wouldn't back against it, but I'm going with my first initial instinct. Spurs to win by 2-1. And finally, what I believe to be the biggest game of this round of fixtures, the main event of this Premier League weekend. We are at the Emirates Stadium for a London derby of sorts, as Arsenal, top of the table, take on Crystal Palace. I've gone with a 2-1 win to Arsenal. Now, I'm hoping that obviously Arsenal don't win. I'm obviously hoping that Arsenal drop points in this one because 2 reasons. One, it makes it more interesting. They're obviously on an incredible run of form right now, Arsenal, and for them to lose and stutter a little bit would make obviously for better viewing of the Premier League if they were to do that. And secondly, some of their fans are getting a little bit ahead of themselves. So for them to be brought down a bit of a peg or two would be very, very welcoming if Crystal Palace were the ones to humble them just a little bit. Now, I'm hoping that the Crystal Palace side that absolutely dominated and battered Liverpool turns up in this game. But as a Liverpool fan, I kind of expect Palace to somewhat be a little bit blunter, tamer than when we face them. And that could obviously play into Arsenal's hands. I expect it to still be difficult for Arsenal, don't get me wrong. I expect it to still be a very awkward game for the Gunners to contend with. We know that obviously Palace have some really good players in their ranks. We know that obviously going forward they can be very, very dangerous at times to handle. Whilst also defensively they can be solid, they can be disciplined. And it's about whether or not Palace take their chances. It's about whether or not they make the right decisions in the right moments. As for Arsenal, look, they're seemingly cranking through the gears a little bit. They're creating opportunities from open play, but they still have their not so secret weapon of set pieces ready to go when the time comes. So Palace will need to be on their A game, whether it be from defending from set pieces, whether it be in transition from defence to attack, whether it be from attack to defence. Whatever it may be, Palace need to be on their A game if they are to have any hope of winning here. But I just think with Arsenal and the way that they've been playing in recent games, and of course having set pieces to rely on heavily, and that's not a dig by the way, that is just obviously a fact, I think Arsenal will get the job done. So I'm going with 2-1 to Arsenal against what could be a very difficult game, a very difficult side in Crystal Palace, but one that I expect them to pass and obviously maintain their strong position of in the position of first in the Premier League table. And there you have it. Those are the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, mainly predictions though of this guy for this weekend's upcoming round of Premier League encounters. I want to know from you though. I want to hear from you. So in the comment section down below, guys, leave your predictions down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling, because I'm sure what you have to say will make for great and interesting reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Premier League predictions video. I will see and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll speak to you all again very, very soon.